The silver ship hung in space like a jewel against the black sky. Ambassador Taewoo pressed his face to the window of the Earth station and watched the alien vessel approach. His heart beat fast with excitement. Today would change everything for humanity. "Sir, they are requesting permission to dock," said Lieutenant Minho from the control panel. Taewoo nodded. "Granted. Make sure everything is perfect for our guests." Behind him, his German shepherd Barum lay quietly on a soft mat. The large, brown and black dog had been Taewoo's companion for 8 years. Where Taewoo went, Barum followed. The dog's calm presence always helped during stressful meetings. Dr. Hyejin walked over carrying her tablet. "The translation systems are ready. We should be able to communicate clearly with the Quillen delegation." "Good. Remember, this first meeting will decide if humanity joins the Galactic Council or remains alone." Taewoo straightened his formal blue uniform. Everything must go smoothly. The alien ship docked with a gentle thud. Airlocks connected with soft hissing sounds. Red lights turned green, showing safe passage between the ships. "They're coming aboard," Minho announced. Taewoo walked to the main meeting room. His shoes clicked on the metal floor. Barum followed silently, his nails tapping a quiet rhythm. The dog seemed to sense the importance of the day. His ears stood alert and his brown eyes watched everything. The meeting room was Earth's finest. Soft lighting made the space feel warm and welcoming. A large round table sat in the center with comfortable chairs around it. Screens on the walls showed peaceful images of Earth. Mountains, forests, and oceans rotated slowly in the display. "Remember," Taewoo whispered to his team, "we represent all of humanity today." Dr. Hyejin sat to his right. Colonel Byung-soo, their military advisor, took the seat to his left. Translator Kim Yuna positioned herself near the communication equipment. Barum settled on his mat beside Taewoo's chair. The door slid open with a soft whoosh. The first alien stepped through. Taewoo had seen pictures, but seeing Ambassador Vextai in person took his breath away. The Quillen stood 7 feet tall on 6 thin legs. His body looked like a giant ant covered in smooth silver skin. Large compound eyes reflected the room's lights like mirrors. 2 long feelers moved constantly from his head, tasting the air. Behind Vextai came 3 more Quillen. These wore different colored bands around their thin arms. Probably ranks or positions, Taewoo thought. "Welcome to Earth Station Alpha," Taewoo said clearly. He stood and bowed slightly, a gesture of respect. The translation device crackled. Then Vextai's voice came through, though his real voice made clicking and whistling sounds. "Greetings, Human Ambassador Taewoo. I am Vextai of the Quillen Republic. We come seeking peaceful contact. We are honored by your visit." Taewoo gestured to the chairs. "Please make yourselves comfortable." The Quillen moved with careful grace. Their legs folded in complex ways as they settled into the chairs. Vextai's feelers continued to move, apparently examining the room's smells and air currents. "Your station is most impressive," Vextai said through the translator. "The Galactic Council has heard much about human achievements." Taewoo smiled. "We hope to contribute much to the galactic community." Everything was going perfectly. Dr. Hyejin activated her tablet to take notes. Colonel Byung-soo sat at attention, representing Earth's military with dignity. Even Barum remained perfectly still on his mat. Then Barum noticed something interesting. The dog lifted his head. His nostrils flared as new scents reached him. Aliens smelled different from humans. Not bad, just different. Curious and friendly as always, Barum stood up. Vextai's compound eyes immediately focused on the movement. His feelers stopped moving. His whole body went very still. Barum stretched like he did every morning. His front legs extended forward while his back arched. His mouth opened in a wide yawn, showing all of his white teeth. To him, this was just a normal stretch after lying down. To Vextai, it looked like a predator preparing to attack. The aliens. Translator suddenly burst with high-pitched alarm sounds. "Apex predator alert. Immediate danger. Hostile creature activated." Vextai shot up from his chair so fast he knocked it backward. His 6 legs scrambled as he backed toward the wall. The other 3 Quillen jumped up too, making panicked clicking sounds. Security protocol engaged, the translator announced. Red lights began flashing on the Quillen's equipment. What's wrong? Taewoo asked, confused. He looked around the peaceful room. Nothing seemed dangerous. Bahram, still curious about the new visitors, took a step forward. His tail began to wag slowly. He wanted to meet these interesting new beings. It approaches for kill, Vextai's translator screamed. Showing attack formation. Displaying weapons. The Quillen security officer pulled out a device that hummed with energy. He pointed it at Bahram while backing toward the door. Wait, Taewoo said, raising his hands. There's no danger. This is just Bahram, my companion. But the translator couldn't properly convert the word companion. It came out as something like controlled war beast in the Quillen language. Vextai made a sound like glass breaking. His 6 legs tangled together as he tried to back up faster. Human controls apex predator. Uses biological weapon. This violates all peaceful contact protocols. Bahram, sensing tension but not understanding why, tried to help. He did what he always did when humans seemed upset. He approached slowly with his head lowered in a friendly posture. His tail wagged harder. To the Quillen, this looked like a hunting animal preparing to pounce. Attack imminent, the security officer's device announced. Recommend immediate evacuation. No, Dr. Hyjin said quickly. You don't understand. He's harmless. He's friendly. Again, the translator failed. Friendly came across as something like trained killer in Quillen speech. Vextai's compound eyes went completely black. His feelers dropped to his sides. Without warning, he collapsed to the floor with a heavy thud. Ambassador! The other Quillen rushed to his side. Bahram jumped back, startled by the sudden noise. He barked once, a simple sound of surprise. The bark echoed through the room like thunder. The remaining Quillen screamed and ran for the door. They carried their unconscious ambassador between them, all 6 of his legs dragging on the floor. In 30 seconds, the room was empty except for confused humans and 1 very puzzled dog. Taewoo stared at the open door. What just happened? Dr. Hyjin slowly put down her tablet. I think they're afraid of Bahram. Bahram walked over to Taewoo and sat down. He looked up with brown eyes that seemed to ask, Did I do something wrong? Colonel Byung-soo broke the silence. Well, that's one way to make first contact memorable. The communication system crackled to life. Vextai's voice came through, but now from his ship. Human vessel, we must withdraw immediately. Your biological weapons program violates all known safety protocols. The Galactic Council will be informed of this threat. Wait, Taewoo called out. Let us explain. There's been a misunderstanding. But the alien ship was already disconnecting from the station. Through the window, they watched it turn and accelerate away into the darkness of space. Taewoo sat down heavily in his chair. Bahram came over and put his head on Taewoo's knee. The man absently scratched behind the dog's ears. 8 years of preparation, Taewoo said quietly. Humanity's first contact with alien intelligence, and it lasted 5 minutes. Dr. Hyejin looked at her notes. We need to understand what went wrong. Why did they react that way to Bahram? Maybe they've never seen dogs before? Suggested Yuna. It was more than that, Colonel Byung-soo said. They acted like Bahram was a weapon of mass destruction. Bahram's tail thumped against the floor. He didn't understand the complex politics of first contact. He only knew that his human seemed sad, and that was never acceptable. The dog stood up and walked to his toy box in the corner. He returned with a well-chewed tennis ball and dropped it at Taewoo's feet. Despite everything, Taewoo smiled. At least someone knows how to handle a crisis. As alarms began sounding throughout the station and emergency messages flooded in from Earth, one thing became clear. Humanity's path to the stars had just become much more complicated, and it was all because of one friendly dog who just wanted to say hello. Captain Ji-ho read the message from Earth Command 3 times before he believed it. The Galactic Council was sending a research team to Earth, not for friendship or trade, for a threat assessment. They think we're dangerous, he told his first officer, Lieutenant Soo-jin. as their ship approached Earth's atmosphere, all because of a dog. The passenger compartment held 5 alien scientists, each from a different world. Dr. Kellex looked like a large green frog with golden eyes. Professor Zethron appeared to be made of living crystal that changed colors when he moved. The others were equally strange, but all shared one thing. They were terrified. "Captain," Dr. Kellex spoke through his translator, "we must maintain safe distance from all biological weapons. Our species cannot survive exposure to Earth's predator-class entities." Jiho sighed. "Doctor, they're called pets. They live in human homes. Children play with them." The translator made harsh buzzing sounds as it tried to convert pets and play into concepts the aliens could understand. Whatever came through made Dr. Kellex turn a darker shade of green. Child soldiers, Zethron's crystalline body flashed red. Humans train their young to control the beasts. "This confirms our worst fears about your species." The ship landed in a suburb outside Seoul. Through the windows, the aliens could see tree-lined streets and small houses with green lawns. It looked peaceful and normal to human eyes. To the alien researchers, it looked like a military zone disguised as a residential area. Each dwelling likely contains multiple biological weapons, Dr. Kellex noted on his recording device. Humans demonstrate remarkable confidence living among such dangers. They watched through reinforced glass as Min-Soo walked down the sidewalk with his golden retriever, Hanyul. The dog's golden fur shone in the morning sunlight. His tail wagged as he sniffed interesting spots along their route. "Observe the coordination," whispered another alien, a purple being with tentacles instead of arms. "The human controls the beast with remarkable precision." Hanyul stopped to examine a fire hydrant. Min-Soo waited patiently, checking his phone while the dog investigated the new sense. "The weapon is gathering intelligence," Zethron observed. His crystal body turned yellow with excitement. "It analyzes the environment while the human provides security coverage." A group of children walked past on their way to school. 8-year-old Bo Young saw Hanyul and ran over with a big smile. "Can I pet your dog?" she asked Min-Soo politely. The aliens watched in horror as the small human child approached the large predator. Their recording devices worked frantically, capturing what they believed was a training exercise. "The juvenile shows no fear," Dr. Kellex recorded. "This suggests extensive conditioning from birth. Humans must begin weapon training at a very young age." Bo Young knelt down and scratched Hanyul behind the ears. The dog's tail wagged faster and he licked her face with his pink tongue. Inside the observation ship, several aliens made sounds of distress. "It's tasting her," the purple alien whispered, "testing for weakness before the attack." "Notice how the larger human does not intervene," Zethron added. "He allows the weapon to examine the juvenile. Perhaps this is how they select future soldiers." Bo Young giggled as Hanyul continued licking her face. She hugged the big dog around his neck while Min-Soo smiled and chatted with other parents walking by. "The predator shows restraint," Dr. Kellex noted with obvious confusion. "It could easily kill the juvenile, but instead displays controlled aggression." "Advanced training," concluded Professor Zethron. "The humans have achieved unprecedented control over natural killer instincts." The research team's next stop was the local animal shelter. Volunteer So Young had arrived early to feed the dogs and cats before opening time. She moved between the kennels with easy familiarity, greeting each animal by name. "Good morning, Thunder," she called to a large German Shepherd mix. "Ready for breakfast?" Thunder's tail beat against his kennel door. He jumped up to put his paws on the fence, trying to get closer to So Young. "A containment facility," Dr. Kellex breathed. "They stored dozens of biological weapons in individual cells." The aliens watched So Young open kennel doors one by one. Each dog came out eagerly, following her to the feeding area. Some jumped up on her. Others ran in circles with excitement. All seemed happy to see her. "Remarkable conditioning techniques," observed the purple alien. "The weapons show enthusiasm for their handler. This level of psychological control should be impossible." So Young filled food bowls while talking to each dog. "Minho, you need to gain some weight. And Luna, I heard you might have a family coming to meet you today." She communicates with individual weapons, Zethron recorded. Each receives specific instructions. This suggests a sophisticated command structure. In the cat room, Tabby Cat Mandu approached So Young and began purring loudly. The sound vibrated through the observation equipment. "Threat vocalization detected," Dr. Kellex announced urgently. "The feline weapon is warning other units. So Young picked up Mandu and held him close to her chest. The cat's purring grew louder as she scratched under his chin. The human shows no fear of the warning signals, the purple alien noted with amazement. She actually moves closer to the weapon during its threat display. A small kitten named Nabi climbed up So Young's leg and perched on her shoulder. 2 other cats wound around her legs, also purring. Multiple weapons are coordinating, Dr. Kellick said with growing alarm. They're surrounding their handler in classic pack formation. So Young laughed as the cats competed for her attention. She had enough hands to pet several at once, and her calm happiness was obvious to any human observer. To the aliens, she appeared to be a weapons expert maintaining control over highly dangerous biological assets through advanced psychological techniques. How do they do it? Wondered Zethron aloud. These creatures should be uncontrollable. Yet humans live among them casually. Perhaps humans possess natural pheromones that suppress predator instincts, suggested Dr. Kellick, or they use technology we cannot detect. The observation session ended when So Young opened the shelter to the public. Families began arriving to look at animals for adoption. New handlers are being selected, the purple alien reported. They will take individual weapons to their own facilities. The research team watched a young couple meet a beagle named Cookie. The dog wagged his tail and licked their hands while they filled out paperwork. The weapon chooses its new controller, Dr. Kellick observed. This suggests intelligence far beyond normal predator capacity. A family with 2 children adopted a cat named Whiskers. The children took turns holding the cat, who purred contentedly in their small arms. Even juveniles can control these creatures, Zethron noted. Human biotechnology exceeds all known science. As their ship lifted off to return to orbit, the alien research team compiled their report. Pages of data described what they interpreted as the most sophisticated biological weapons program ever discovered. Dr. Kellick reviewed their findings. Humans have achieved complete psychological domination over multiple predator species. They use advanced conditioning techniques to maintain control. Even their juveniles can safely handle these biological weapons. Recommendation? Asked Professor Zethron. Immediate quarantine of the Sol system, Dr. Kellick replied without hesitation. Humanity represents an unprecedented threat to galactic peace. Down on Earth, So Young finished her shift at the animal shelter. She went home to her own apartment where her rescue cat Bomi waited by the door. The orange tabby meowed once and rubbed against her legs. "Hello to you too," So Young said, picking up her pet. "Did you miss me?" Bomi purred and bumped his head against her chin. To him, she wasn't a weapons handler or a military trainer. She was simply the human he loved, who always came home and always had time for cuddles. If cats could laugh, Bomi would have been amused by the alien report describing him as a sophisticated biological weapon. But cats are practical creatures. He was much more interested in dinner and a warm lap for evening napping. The greatest misunderstanding in galactic history continued to grow, one purr and tail wag at a time. Agricultural specialist Dong Hyun wiped the sweat from his forehead as he watched the alien research vessel land in his backfield. He had volunteered to show them how human food production worked. The government told him it was important for Earth's future. Remember, Dr. Hyun had warned him over the phone. They think our animals are weapons. Try to act normal, but maybe keep the demonstration simple. Dong Hyun looked at his border collie Mix-Up, who sat patiently beside him. "What do you think, boy? Can you handle some alien visitors without scaring them to death?" Mix-Up wagged his tail and barked once. To him, visitors meant new people to meet and possibly new games to play. The research team emerged from their ship wearing full protective suits. Dr. Kellick's green frog-like body was completely enclosed in a clear dome. Professor Zethron's crystalline form glowed dimly behind thick armor plating. "Greetings, human Dong Hyun," Dr. Kellick spoke through his translator. "We come to study your agricultural biological weapon systems." "Welcome to my farm," Dong Hyun replied, choosing to ignore the weapons comment. "I hope you'll see that farming is about growing food and caring for animals." The translator made grinding sounds trying to convert caring for animals into something the aliens could understand. What came through apparently meant something like maintaining weapon stockpiles. "Show us your weapon deployment methods," requested Zethron, his crystal body flashing nervous purple colors. Dong Hyun led them toward the sheep pasture where 30 woolly sheep grazed peacefully. Mix-Up trotted beside him, tongue hanging out happily. "These are sheep," Dong-hyun explained. We raise them for wool and meat. They're very gentle animals. The sheep looked up as the group approached. Several came closer, hoping for treats. Their soft bleating filled the air. Prey species, Dr. Kellix noted with surprise. But why do you keep prey animals if you have predator weapons? Before Dong-hyun could answer, one of the sheep wandered away from the flock. Mix-up immediately noticed and sprang into action. The border collie ran in a wide arc, positioning himself behind the stray sheep. He crouched low and stared intensely at the animal. The sheep, feeling the pressure of the dog's gaze, turned and began walking back toward the flock. Mix-up moved carefully, never getting too close, always keeping the sheep moving in the right direction. When the sheep rejoined the group, Mix-up sat down and looked at Dong-hyun for approval. Good boy, Dong-hyun said, patting the dog's head. The alien research team recorded frantically. Observe the psychological warfare techniques, Dr. Kellix announced. The predator uses intimidation to control prey animals without physical contact. Advanced tactical thinking, added Zethrun. The weapon flanked the target and used stare-based domination. Notice how the prey animal showed no signs of panic, observed the purple-tentacled alien. This suggests long-term conditioning. The prey accepts predator control as normal, Dong-hyun tried to explain. Mix-up is herding. It's instinct. Border collies were bred to help farmers move sheep safely. The translator turned herding instinct into something like programmed hunting behavior, and bred for became genetically modified for warfare. Genetic modification confirmed, Dr. Kellix recorded with growing alarm. Humans have altered predator DNA to create specialized biological weapons. The tour continued to the horse stable where Dong-hyun's wife Eun-ji was brushing their mare, Autumn. The large brown horse stood quietly, enjoying the attention. This is Autumn, Eun-ji said cheerfully. She's 20 years old and very gentle. She demonstrated by running her hands over the horse's neck and legs. Autumn turned her head to nuzzle Eun-ji's shoulder affectionately. Massive war beast, whispered the purple alien. Observe the size and muscle development. The human shows no fear, Zethrun noted. She actually touches the creature voluntarily. Eun-ji led Autumn out of the stable and began saddling her. The horse stood patiently while Eun-ji tightened straps and adjusted stirrups. Would you like to see her in action? Eun-ji asked the nervous alien observers. She mounted Autumn and gently urged the horse forward. They walked around the paddock in smooth harmony, horse and rider moving as one unit, symbiotic combat formation. Dr. Kellix recorded with obvious terror. Human and megafauna unite into single fighting unit. Eun-ji guided Autumn into a gentle trot. The horse's hooves beat a steady rhythm on the soft ground. Her mane flowed in the breeze while Eun-ji sat relaxed and comfortable in the saddle. Notice the perfect coordination, observed Zethrun. The human controls the war beast through subtle commands. No visible technology required. Telepathic link suspected, added the purple alien. Humans may possess psychic abilities allowing direct beast control. The demonstration ended when Eun-ji dismounted and gave Autumn a carrot. The horse crunched the treat happily while Eun-ji removed her saddle. Reward-based conditioning, Dr. Kellix noted. The human maintains beast loyalty through strategic feeding. Next came the pig pen where Dong-hyun's pot-bellied pig Bokchi lived. The small black pig was taking his afternoon mud bath, rolling contentedly in the cool dirt. Bokchi, come here, boy, Dong-hyun called. The pig looked up, snorted once, and trotted over to the fence. He pushed his snout through the rails, hoping for scratches. This is Bokchi, Dong-hyun said, rubbing the pig's head. Pigs are very intelligent animals. Intelligence rating noted, Dr. Kellix recorded urgently. Tactical thinking capacity confirmed. Bokchi made happy grunting sounds as Dong-hyun scratched behind his ears. When an apple core fell from Dong-hyun's pocket, the pig immediately noticed and pushed it around with his snout. Problem-solving behavior observed, Zethrun announced. The weapon adapts to new situations instantly. Pigs can learn their names, solve puzzles, and recognize human faces, Dong-hyun explained proudly. The translator converted this into something that made all the aliens step backward in alarm. Facial recognition technology, the purple alien whispered. Memory storage capability, advanced learning algorithms. This creature is a biological computer, Dr. Kellix concluded. Humans have created thinking weapons. The afternoon brought the most terrifying sight yet. Feeding time. Dong-hyun and Yoon-ji walked to the center of the farm property carrying buckets of feed and treats. Mix-up followed eagerly, knowing what came next. "Dinner time," Dong-hyun called out. The response was immediate. Sheep began moving toward them from the far pasture. Chickens emerged from their coop, clucking excitedly. 3 barn cats appeared from various hiding spots. Even Autumn whinnied from her stable. Within minutes, dozens of animals surrounded the 2 humans. Sheep pressed close, hoping for grain. Chickens pecked at scattered feed around their feet. The cats wound between everyone's legs, purring loudly. Mix-up sat perfectly still in the middle of the chaos, tail wagging but making no move to chase or threaten any other animal. "Mass weapon assembly," Dr. Kellix announced in panic. Multiple biological assets converging on human controllers. "Observe the discipline," Zethron added, his crystal body flashing rapid red pulses. "Predator and prey species coordinate without conflict. The humans show complete confidence," noted the purple alien. "They stand unprotected among dozens of potential threats." Dong-hyun scattered chicken feed while Eun-ji distributed hay to the sheep. The animals ate peacefully, showing no fear of the humans or each other. Even when Mix-up moved through the crowd, the other animals barely noticed him. "Cross-species cooperation," Dr. Kellix recorded with growing horror. "Humans have eliminated natural predator-prey relationships entirely." A small barn kitten named Pepper approached Mix-up and rubbed against the dog's legs. Mix-up lowered his head to sniff the tiny cat, who purred loudly and bumped his nose with her head. "Predator-predator alliance formation," Zethron observed. "Multiple weapon types working together." "This level of biological control should be impossible," the purple alien added. "It violates fundamental laws of nature." The feeding ended with Dong-hyun and Yoon-ji distributing final treats. Each animal received individual attention. Scratches behind ears, gentle words, affectionate pats. The humans maintained personal relationships with each weapon, Dr. Kellix noted with scientific fascination mixed with terror. Individual conditioning programs for every biological asset. As the sun began to set, the animals dispersed to their evening activities. Sheep gathered in the shelter of their shed. Chickens returned to their coop. The cats settled into warm hiding spots for nighttime hunting. Mix-up followed Dong-hyun and Yoon-ji back to the farmhouse, where he would spend the evening on his favorite rug by the fireplace. Summary of observations, Dr. Kellix announced to his team. Humans have achieved unprecedented biological control. They maintain armies of diverse weapon types in apparent harmony. Genetic modification, psychological conditioning, and possible telepathic control all confirmed. Recommendation? Asked Professor Zethron. Emergency session of the Galactic Council, Dr. Kellix replied. Humanity represents the greatest military threat ever encountered. Their biological weapons program exceeds our worst projections. Inside the farmhouse, Dong-hyun and Yoon-ji sat down to dinner. Mix-up lay at their feet, occasionally receiving small scraps of meat. Through the window, they could see the alien ship preparing for departure. Think they understood anything about farming? Eun-ji asked. Dong-hyun shook his head. I don't think they understood anything at all. Mix-up wagged his tail and rested his chin on Dong-hyun's foot. Tomorrow would bring new sheep to herd, new games to play, and new opportunities to help his humans with their daily work. He had no idea that somewhere in space, he was being described as a sophisticated biological weapon in the most alarming report ever filed with galactic authorities. Title: Part 4, Urban Warfare, Assessment Content Intelligence Officer. Yujin checked her watch as she waited for the alien research team at Seoul's busiest metro station. The underground passages buzzed with morning commuters heading to work. Nobody paid attention to the small woman in the dark blue uniform, which was exactly how she preferred it. The alien. Delegation emerged from their transport vehicle wearing even heavier protective gear than before. Dr. Kellix now had additional armor plating over his environmental suit. Professor Zethron's crystal body was completely hidden behind thick metal barriers. Officer Yujin, Dr. Kellix's translator, crackled with static. We require full tactical assessment of urban biological weapon deployment. Of course, Yujin replied smoothly. I'll show you how pets integrate into city life. The translator turned pets, integrate into something that apparently meant weapons deployment protocols because all 5 aliens immediately began recording. Their first stop was Hangang Park. where dozens of Seoul residents walked their dogs along the river paths. The morning sun sparkled on the water while families enjoyed the peaceful atmosphere. "Observe the tactical positioning," Eugene explained, pointing to a man throwing a tennis ball for his golden retriever. "This is called playing fetch." The dog ran after the ball with obvious joy, caught it in midair and brought it back to his owner. The man praised the dog and threw the ball again. "Repetitive training exercise," Dr. Kellix noted with alarm. "The human drills the weapon in retrieval techniques." "Notice the precision," added Zethron, his hidden crystal body flashing nervous colors behind the armor. "The projectile is returned to exact location every time." A group of children ran past, laughing and playing tag. 3 different dogs joined their game, running alongside the children without any human commands. "Unsupervised weapon activity," the purple tentacled alien observed with growing panic. "Juveniles interacting with multiple biological assets without adult controllers present." "The weapons show initiative," Dr. Kellix recorded. "They participate in juvenile training exercises independently." Eugene tried a different approach. "Dogs like to play. It makes them happy." The translator apparently turned happy into some kind of combat readiness term, because all the aliens stepped further back from the playful scene. Next, they visited a busy dog park where dozens of dogs ran freely within a fenced area. Owners sat on benches chatting while their pets socialized together. "Mass weapon training facility," Zethron announced. "Multiple biological assets from different handlers interacting simultaneously." A small Pomeranian named Fluffy approached a large German shepherd called Max. Instead of fighting, the 2 dogs began playing together. Fluffy yapped excitedly while Max gently playbowed, inviting more interaction. "Cross-species cooperation protocols," Dr. Kellix observed. "Different weapon types coordinate without conflict." "Size differential training," added the purple alien. "Large and small units practice together to improve tactical flexibility." An elderly woman called Grandma Park threw treats to a group of dogs. 6 different animals gathered around her peacefully, each waiting their turn for treats. "Inter-handler resource sharing," Eugene pointed out. "Community cooperation in pet care. Weapons accept commands from multiple human controllers." Dr. Kellix translated with scientific fascination. "This suggests advanced programming allowing flexible command structures." The tour continued to a veterinary clinic where Dr. Sung-min was conducting routine health checkups. Through the window, the aliens watched him examine a large Doberman named Thunder. "Medical facility for biological weapons," Zethron observed as they peered through protective glass. Dr. Sung-min placed a soft muzzle over Thunder's snout, while he checked the dog's ears and eyes. Thunder stood patiently, tail wagging slightly. "Weapon safety protocols engaged," Dr. Kellix noted urgently. "The human applies restraint device before maintenance procedures." "Observe the compliance," the purple alien added. "The weapon submits to restraint without resistance. Superior conditioning techniques confirmed." Thunder's owner, a young mother named Sun-hee, held her toddler son Min-jun while they waited. The little boy reached toward Thunder, wanting to pet the big dog. "Child controller training," Dr. Kellix announced. "Juveniles learn weapon handling from early age." Dr. Sung-min removed Thunder's muzzle and gave him a treat. The dog's tail wagged faster as he crunched the small biscuit. "Reward-based control maintenance," Zethron recorded. "Positive reinforcement ensures continued weapon loyalty." Their afternoon stop was a championship dog show where professional handler Icha was preparing her prize-winning poodle, Cloud, for competition. Cloud stood perfectly still on a grooming table while Icha brushed his elaborate coat. Every curl was precisely shaped and positioned. The dog's nails were trimmed and polished. Even his teeth had been brushed. "Advanced weapon modification procedures," Dr. Kellix observed with growing alarm. "Humans alter biological assets for specific purposes." "Notice the precision grooming," Zethron added. "Every aspect of the weapon's appearance is controlled and optimized." Acha led Cloud into the show ring where a judge examined the dog's movement and structure. Cloud walked in perfect formation, head high, steps precise and measured. "Weapons evaluation process," the purple alien noted. "Human experts assess biological asset performance standards." "Look at the discipline," Dr. Kellix recorded. "The weapon maintains perfect formation under evaluation stress." The judge awarded Cloud first place in his category. H's smiled and gave him treats while spectators applauded. Performance-based hierarchy system, Zethrun observed. Superior weapons receive recognition and rewards. The crowd approves of weapon. Excellence, added Dr. Kellix, and this suggests society-wide appreciation for biological warfare. Capabilities. As evening approached, Yujin led the research team through Seoul's nighttime streets. This was when they witnessed what they considered the most terrifying sight yet. Stray cats emerged from hiding places throughout the city. They moved through shadows between buildings, along rooftops, through narrow alleys. Dozens of cats appeared where none had been visible during daylight hours. Feral weapon deployment, Dr. Kellix announced in panic. Unsupervised biological assets operating throughout urban environment. A sleek black cat named Shadow slipped between parked cars, hunting for mice near a restaurant's garbage area. He moved with complete silence, invisible until the moment he pounced. Stealth capabilities confirmed, Zethrun recorded with obvious terror. Weapons operate independently with no human oversight. 3 cats gathered around an elderly man who regularly fed strays. They approached from different directions, converging on his location with apparent coordination. Pack hunting behavior, the purple alien observed. Feral units maintain group tactics. The human feeds them voluntarily, Dr. Kellix noted with confusion. Why do humans support unsupervised weapon activity? A mother cat appeared with 2 kittens, teaching them to hunt insects in a small park. The young cats practiced pouncing while their mother watched protectively. Weapon reproduction and training, Zethrun announced urgently. Feral biological assets are self-perpetuating. New generations receive combat instruction from senior units, added Dr. Kellix. No human intervention required. By midnight, the alien research team had documented what they believed to be the most sophisticated urban warfare system ever encountered. Their final report contained pages of evidence about humanity's apparent biological weapons program. Summary of urban assessment, Dr. Kellix announced to his team. Humans have deployed biological weapons throughout their cities. Both supervised and feral units operate simultaneously. Training facilities, maintenance centers, and evaluation systems all confirmed. Population estimate? Asked Zethrun. Conservative estimate, millions of biological weapons in this city alone, Dr. Kellix replied. Extrapolating to global population, possibly billions of biological assets under human control or influence. Recommendation? Immediate evacuation of all council species from this sector, Dr. Kellix stated firmly. Humanity possesses the largest biological weapons arsenal in galactic history. As the alien ship departed Earth's atmosphere, Yujin filed her own report to Earth Command. She described the day's events with professional confusion. The alien team interpreted everything as military activity, she wrote. They seem to believe our pets are weapons. Recommend psychological evaluation of alien species to determine source of this fundamental misunderstanding. In apartments across Seoul, millions of cats and dogs settled down for the night. Some slept in comfortable beds beside their human families. Others curled up in warm hiding spots throughout the city. None of them knew they had just been classified as the greatest threat to galactic peace in recorded history. They were too busy dreaming of tomorrow's walks, treats, and games with their beloved humans. The misunderstanding that would reshape galactic politics had. Dr. Bae Hee-jin stepped off the transport ship with a small carrier in her hands. Inside sat Mochi, a white rabbit with pink eyes and soft fur. The xenopsychologist had worked with alien minds for 10 years, but this was her biggest challenge yet. Captain Han Woo-jin met her at the docking bay. His face looked tired. 3 days of failed talks had worn him down. Doctor, I hope you have something that can help us. The aliens are ready to leave and never come back. Hyejin smiled and held up the carrier. I brought a friend who might change their minds. In the meeting room, the alien delegates sat far from the humans. Ambassador Veltar's skin had turned a pale blue color that meant fear. The Floxan representatives kept their ears flat against their heads. Even the crystal beings looked dull and lifeless. Dr. Park Ji-eun had tried everything. She showed videos of dogs saving people. She explained how cats helped farmers by catching mice. She talked about horses helping humans work. But the aliens only saw predators serving other predators. Friends from the stars, Hee-jin said in a soft voice. She placed the carrier on the table and opened it slowly. I want to show you something different. Mochi hopped out and sat quietly on the table. The rabbit's nose twitched as it looked around the room. Several aliens gasped. The Floxan delegate named Piptar stood up so fast his chair fell over. "That is one of us," Piptar whispered. "A prey animal. But why is it not running from the predators?" Hyejin gently stroked Mochi's fur. The rabbit leaned into her touch and made happy grinding sounds with its teeth. "This is Mochi. She lives with me. Not as food. Not as a tool. As family." The room became very quiet. Ambassador Velthar stared at the small rabbit. "You keep prey animals too?" "Yes," Hyejin said. "Humans live with many kinds of animals. Some were hunters like dogs and cats. Others were prey like rabbits and birds. We love them all the same way." She pulled out a tablet and showed pictures. Humans hugging rabbits. Children feeding chickens. Families with pet hamsters and guinea pigs. The aliens watched with growing amazement. "But how?" asked the Vorthak delegate, its crystal body glowing soft yellow. "How do predators and prey live together in your homes?" Hyejin smiled. "Because we taught them love instead of fear. And they taught us the same thing." Lieutenant Kim Taeho, who had been quiet all meeting, spoke up. "My daughter has a rabbit like this one. When she was sick last year, that rabbit never left her bed. It knew she needed comfort." The aliens looked confused. Piptar tilted his head. "Your offspring bonds with prey animals?" "All human children do," Dr. Park Ji-yoon added. "We give them small animals to teach them kindness, to show them how to care for something smaller and weaker." Communication Officer Lee Soo-bin activated a wall screen. "Let me show you something." She played a video from Earth. A little human girl was crying because she had fallen down. A large golden dog ran over and licked her face until she laughed. Then a small cat rubbed against her leg, purring. "The predators comfort the child," Velthar said slowly. "They feel her pain." "Yes," Hyejin said. "And look at this." Another video showed an old man sitting alone. A rabbit much like Mochi jumped into his lap. The man smiled for the first time in the video and began petting the rabbit gently. "The prey animal approaches the predator." Piptar breathed. "It is not afraid. It wants to help." Hyejin nodded. "Thousands of years ago, these animals chose to live with us. Not because we forced them. Because we offered them something better than the wild. Safety, food, love, and purpose." She showed more videos. Dogs guiding blind humans down busy streets. Cats sitting with sick people in hospitals. Horses carrying disabled children who could not walk. Rabbits visiting old people who lived alone. "They work with you," the Vorthak delegate said. Its crystal body was now glowing bright white with wonder. "Predator and prey together helping your weak ones." "That is what family does," Captain Wu Jin said. "We take care of each other." Ambassador Velthar stood up slowly. He walked closer to the table where Mochi sat. The rabbit looked at him with curious eyes but did not run away. "On my world," Velthar said quietly, "the great hunters killed my people for food. We lived in fear underground for thousands of years. The idea that such creatures could love us, it seemed impossible." Hyejin picked up Mochi and held her close. "These animals changed when they lived with us. And we changed when we lived with them. Dogs became loyal instead of just hunting. Cats became affectionate instead of just killing. Rabbits became brave instead of just hiding. And humans?" Piptar asked. "We became kinder," Hyejin said. "Every animal taught us something new. Dogs taught us loyalty. Cats taught us independence. Horses taught us partnership. Rabbits taught us gentleness." Dr. Park Ji-yoon activated another screen. This time it showed a human soldier returning home from war. A dog ran to meet him, jumping up and down with joy. The soldier fell to his knees and hugged the dog tight, tears running down his face. "After seeing terrible things in battle, this dog reminds him how to feel love again," Ji-yoon explained. The aliens watched more videos. Humans rescuing animals from floods and fires. Animals finding lost humans in forests and snow. Old videos of humans and animals working together to build cities and farms. "You saved each other," Velthar said with understanding. "Not masters and servants, partners." Young Navigation Officer Kim Dae-yoon spoke for the first time. "My grandmother says animals are mirrors. They show us who we really are inside. If we are kind, they reflect kindness. If we are cruel, they reflect fear." Mochi hopped across the table toward Ambassador Velthar. The alien leader froze as the small rabbit came close. Mochi sniffed his strange blue hand, then sat down next to it. "She is not afraid of me," Velthar whispered. "Animals can sense good hearts," Hyejin said. "Mochi knows you mean no harm." For the first time since the talks began, Velthar smiled. It was a strange expression on his alien face, but the humans recognized it immediately. "Perhaps," the ambassador said softly. "We have been afraid of the wrong thing. We feared your beasts, but maybe we should have wondered why the beasts chose to love you instead." The final meeting was set to begin when the space station shook violently. Emergency lights flashed red as alarms sounded through the corridors. Captain Han Woo-jin grabbed his communicator. "Bridge, what is happening?" he demanded. "Sir, we have incoming asteroid field moving fast toward the station. Our sensors did not detect it until now," came the reply from Ensign Park So-young. In the meeting room, the alien delegates looked worried. Ambassador Velthar's skin turned dark green with fear. The Floxen representative Piptar was already moving toward the exit. "How long do we have?" Dr. Park Ji-un asked. Lieutenant Kim Tae-ho checked his tablet. "The computer says 40 minutes before impact. But these readings look wrong. The asteroids are moving faster than expected." Suddenly, Storm the military dog started barking loudly. Sergeant Cho Yuna had brought him to the meeting level by accident. The big Belgian Malinois was staring at the ceiling and barking in short, sharp sounds. "Storm, quiet," Yuna ordered, but the dog kept barking. Dr. Bae Hyejin looked at the dog carefully. "Wait, he is trying to tell us something. Military dogs are trained to warn about danger." Buddy, Captain Woo-jin's German shepherd, started whining and pawing at his master's leg. His ears were flat against his head and his tail was tucked low. "The animal sensed something we cannot," Communication Officer Lee Subin said. She was holding her tablet, trying to contact her cats back on Earth, but they were acting strange on the video call too. The station shook again, harder this time. Through the large windows they could see small rocks hitting the outer shields. "The computer was wrong," Yuna said, understanding her dog's warning. "We have less time than we thought." Ambassador Velthar stood up. "Our ships can help evacuate, but we need to move everyone quickly." "The problem is finding everyone," Captain Woo-jin said. "This station has hundreds of levels and thousands of rooms. Our sensors cannot locate all the people in time." Storm barked again and ran toward the door. He looked back at Yuna, then ran a few steps and looked back again. "He wants us to follow," Yuna said. "Search and rescue dogs do this when they find someone." Dr. Park Ji-un activated her communicator. "All station security, release the emergency animal protocol. Let all service animals help with evacuation." Within minutes, dozens of dogs throughout the station began working. German shepherds like Buddy used their noses to find people trapped in damaged sections. Border collies herded groups of scared civilians toward escape pods. Golden retrievers carried emergency supplies in special packs. The aliens watched in amazement as the animals worked alongside humans with perfect coordination. No commands were needed. The dogs seemed to know exactly what to do. "How do they know where to go?" Piptar asked, following Storm down a corridor. "They can smell fear, hear sounds we cannot hear, and feel vibrations through their paws," Yuna explained. "Better than any machine we have." Storm led them to a blocked section where 3 Vorthak delegates were trapped behind twisted metal. The dog barked once and pawed at a small opening. "He found them," Lieutenant Kim Tae-ho said. "But how do we get through?" Navigation Officer Kim Da-eun had an idea. "What about scales?" Dr. Oh Min-seo's snake. "It could go through that space." Dr. Oh Min-seo arrived with her python wrapped around her shoulders. Scales can check if they are hurt and carry a communication device to them. The aliens watched as the human calmly sent her pet snake through the small hole. 10 minutes later, they had established contact with the trapped delegates and knew they were safe. "The predator saves prey," Velthar said with wonder. "Even alien prey it has never met." More animals joined the rescue effort. Lee Subin's cats, watching through video screens from Earth, helped guide humans through the station by meowing when they saw dangers on the security cameras. Dr. Hyejin's rabbit, Mochi, was placed in a small robot that could fit through tiny spaces to check if areas were safe. Even Newton the parrot helped, repeating important messages in multiple alien languages that the humans had taught him during the cultural exchange. "Attention all beings. Move to level 5 for evacuation," Newton squawked in perfect Calarian. The asteroid field hit the station hard, but everyone was ready. The animals had found all the missing people. They had carried supplies to those who needed help. They had guided everyone to safety. As the last evacuation ship left the station, Ambassador Velthar stood with Captain Woo-jin on the bridge. Below them, Storm was sleeping peacefully next to Buddy. Mochi sat quietly in Heejin's lap. Even Scales the snake seemed calm, wrapped gently around Minseo's arm. I understand now, Velthar said quietly. These are not weapons or tools. They are your family. Wu Jin nodded. They chose to stand with us thousands of years ago. Today they chose to stand with you too. When Storm found our trapped people, he did not know they were aliens, Piptar added. He just knew they needed help. Dr. Park Ji-eun pulled out her tablet and began writing. I am sending my report to the Galactic Federation. Earth's animals saved everyone today, alien and human together. 3 days later, the response came from the Federation Council. Earth was not only accepted as a member, but was given a special honor. All human-animal companions would be welcome on any Federation station or ship. The message from the Federation president was simple. If humans can inspire such loyalty and love from apex predators, imagine what they might inspire in the rest of us. The galaxy is safer with Earth as our friend. Captain Wu Jin read the message aloud to his crew. Storm wagged his tail as if he understood. Buddy barked happily. In her quarters, Lee Subin's cats purred as they watched the celebration on their video screen from Earth. So what happens now? Young Da-un asked. Now we go home and tell everyone that we are not alone in the universe anymore, Wu Jin said, and that our four-legged friends helped us make the greatest friends of all. Ambassador Velthar approached with something in his hands. It was a small device that glowed softly blue. This is a Federation friendship beacon, he said, but I want to give it to Storm first. He saved my people today. The big dog sat quietly as the alien ambassador placed the beacon on his collar. Storm's tail wagged slowly and he gave Velthar a gentle lick on the hand. From now on, Velthar announced, when other species ask how we made friends with humans, we will tell them about the day their loyal companions became guardians of the galaxy. The humans smiled. Their animal friends had done something amazing. They had shown the universe that love and loyalty could cross any boundary, even between species that had never met. As Earth's ships began the journey home, everyone carried both human and alien passengers traveling together, and on every ship dogs wagged their tails, cats purred contentedly, and other animal companions settled in for humanity's greatest adventure yet among the stars. The galaxy had learned that day that humans were not dangerous because they kept predators as pets. They were special because they had turned those predators into something the universe had never seen before. Creatures of love, loyalty, and protection who would risk their lives for any being in need. That was the true power of humanity. Not conquest or fear, but the ability to transform others through friendship and love. It was a lesson the galaxy would never forget.